Good morning. One second. Let me try that again. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this Sunday? Me? Well, I'm a lot better today than I was on this day 6 years ago. And we'll get to all of that in the fullness of time. But I did want to give you a very quick heads up about Friday's show, when I will be joined by Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards for our monthly roundup of construction contract awards. I've checked the BC Live League table this morning. I can tell you that with a week of the month still left to play out, the total already stands at an impressive £4.6 billion. Which is way ahead of the £4 billion baseline or monthly baseline that we've come to expect over recent years. The world might be in chaos. The UK might be shivering in the dark in just a few months' time, and our oceans may be filled with sewage, but construction shows no signs of slowing up, and long may it continue. So make sure you join us on Friday for what might be the only good news you'll get this week. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and don't worry, I'm not working for an insurance company, and let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of August, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, the profligacy of the CITB, and I really struggle saying that word. Epiroc takes a break. K-Tec experiences ejection, and there's a hot new demolition contract lead, this time down in East London. Plus, we have a look back at this day 6 years ago when I arrived on site by car and left in an ambulance. We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to the star of one of the best-known movie scenes of all time, Singing in the Rain's Gene Kelly. Happy birthday also to The Who drummer, Keith Moon the Loon Moon, playwright Willie Russell, and to an actor that left us far too soon, River Phoenix, to basketball legend Kobe Bryant, to Mexican boxer Edgar Sosa, and to former West Ham defender Glenn Johnson. Many happy returns to them. One and all. And we start today where we left off yesterday with the CITB. Now, I'm about to play you a film that was actually produced ahead of the CITB consensus back in 2021. While I can't verify the facts and figures contained within the film, the fact that it's still up a year later and that the company behind it hasn't been sued for libel or falsehood suggests there is a great deal of truth contained within. My plan, if you're up for this, is to play this now, and then we'll talk about it after the show. But if you want to talk about it before then, feel free. I will go with the flow. But here is the film in question.
Hello, I own a construction firm turning over 1.5 million a year, and I know how hard it is to generate and maintain that level of business. I'm angry that the CITB has squandered £80 million of our levy monies in the last 3 years. Last year alone, firms like ours paid the CITB levies of 195 million and got just 92 million back in training grants. Here are just some of the things that the CITB spent our levy on. In the last 3 years, they spent a staggering £40 million on business improvement and technology. Has anyone noticed any improvements? The Vision 2020 business plan of 2018 was to sell its training centres and move its head office. But now, a reversal of that decision has left a £33 million hole in the books. Do you see the logic? CITB also spent nearly £10 million on redundancy and fit-out costs in moving its head office from Norfolk to Peterborough. Can any of you afford such a wasteful move? In the last 3 years, CITB has spent £2.7 million in car leasing. Has anyone had a visit from them? The CITB has spent £1.4 million in the last 3 years on research companies to find out what you think. Wouldn't it have been easier for them to give you a ring and you could have told them straight? The CITB, who stiff us for millions to squander, are now asking the industry for another 3 years of levy and grant powers. Now is the time to tell the trade associations or the researchers what you really think of the CITB.
So please feel free to drop your comments in the chat and we'll talk this one through after the main part of the show. But before we get to that, just one very quick point. Just to put some of that into perspective, the UK training regime wants to charge bricklayers that qualified prior to 1991 £1,000 each to maintain their competence card. The money spent by the CITB purely on car leasing would maintain the qualification of 2,700 bricklayers. Surely that would be money better spent. Now, I need to pause for a moment because through oversight and stupidity on my part, I've missed a very, very important date in the diary. It is the birthday of one Gary Muirhead, a legend in these parts. It's his 50th birthday, but a child, and many happy returns indeed, Gary. And I know a few other people have actually echoed that this morning, including Mr. Hatcher. So very good, very happy birthday, Gary, and thank you very much indeed for joining us. Now, I'm going to play this because I've got more to crack on with. The first item of construction equipment that I ever filmed in a professional capacity was a pair of Caterpillar ejector trucks. Oh, sure. By the time I filmed them, I'd photographed hundreds, possibly even thousands of different machines. But armed with my trusty Nokia N95 and its 5-megapixel camera, yes, really, the first item of plant I ever filmed in motion was those Cat trucks. And very good they were too, particularly when operating in sticky and cohesive materials. Well, fast forward some 16 years and ejector trucks are once again in the news. Only this time, the badge on the side is not that of Caterpillar. In fact, this time, there are two badges, Volvo and K-Tec.
Hi guys, Sean Ides here, Director of Research and Development for K-Tec. Today we're on site in Sweden with Volvo working on our new ejector body. Let's take a look. So, what are the benefits of an ejector body over a dump body? It's increased safety and efficiency. Because you can unload both stopped and while moving, either on flat ground or on slight slopes, you are much more versatile than a regular dump body. You also don't have to worry about overhead obstructions because the box never lifts up. This K-Tec ejector box is designed for the Volvo A40 and A45 trucks. It's a direct replacement for the dump body that comes standard with it. The capacity of this box is 39 ton or 23.3 cubic meters. The height and width of the K-Tec ejector body do not exceed the road dimensions of a Volvo ADT hauler. The patent-pending, bolt-together design of our ejector body allows for easy international shipping. The hydraulically operated tailgate is linked with the ejector cycle, so all can be run simply using the existing dump lever hydraulics. Our patent-pending 3-point guide system utilizes slider blocks to allow for smooth, quiet operation of the ejector. Control of the ejector body is the same as with a dump body, utilizing the existing lever to move the ejector back and forward. Installation of the K-Tec ejector body is quite simple and requires no modifications to the frame. We use the existing mounting pins in the back as well as mounting points in the front and easy hydraulic connections. So that concludes the walk around of the K-Tec ejector body. Thanks to Volvo for allowing us access to their demo site here in Sweden and their continued partnership. If you want more product information or updates on the ejector body, head on over to ktec.com.
I have to say they look very smart indeed, but I'm kicking myself a bit because I can't help wondering if those trucks were actually at the Volvo HQ when I was there a few months ago and I just failed to spot them. Probably tucked away in a corner somewhere and I wasn't paying attention. Hey ho.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
There's a bit of a dark and painful ending to today's show, well, for me at least. But before we get there, let's pause a while to check out the very latest Epiroc hydraulic hammers doing their thing in a primary braking application. Okay, demolition contractors within easy reach of God's country in East London, lend me your ears because this one is for you. Good grief. More than 5 million of your finest Cockney quids have been set aside for the extension of a school on a site in Moxon Street in Barnet. Designed to provide educational space for some 90 pupils, the extension will include a rooftop recreation area, a sensory garden, and a school minibus drop-off and pick-up area. The client in this instance is the Department of Education. And Morgan Sindel is thought to be among the main contractors vying for the new build portion of the works. But before they or anyone else can make a start on this important new project, an existing building needs to be partially demolished. And at the time of writing, time of broadcast, a suitable demolition contractor has yet to be appointed. You can find out more about this project lead and countless more just like it over at buildersconference.co.uk. Alternatively, you can speak directly to Siobhan Jones using the number displayed at the foot of your screen. She is standing by to take your call. And just while I do this, 1 second. I mentioned at the top of the show that we will be joined on Friday's show by none other than Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards. Look forward to hearing just how the industry is faring come Friday. All things being equal, we should be above the £5 billion mark to mark yet another very good month indeed. Now, just before we move on and get to the dark and serious subjects, how's this for timing? Callum McIntosh, morning all. CITB points are interesting. I'm on my way to meet their chief executive. Funnily enough, send him or her my regards, would you, Callum? And invite them onto the show. I'd love to have a chat with them. Can't see that happening. I'm just going to throw this one up very quickly. I use an Epiroc sold by William Coyle at Coils. Great breaker, best I've ever used on a 3CX, and great service from Coils over the years. Highly recommend them. Yeah, let's be absolutely honest. The Epiroc breaker, which used to be a Krupp, and it used to be an Atlas Copco as well, but it used to be a Krupp. Damn fine breaker under the hood there, and no mistake. Now, what were you doing on this day 6 years ago? I realise most of you probably won't remember, but I can remember. I was lying on the ground, bleeding onto my camera bag and waiting for an ambulance to arrive to take me from a demolition site to hospital, having just been hit in the face by a low-flying brick. Now, we're going to get to the chat in just a second, but I want to throw this up because I don't actually know what this is about. Andrea Wallace, good morning, Andrea. This should be cut off. It's not right what you're doing. My earth-moving company is not there to be famous. Goodbye, Desperado. If anybody, Andrea, please tell me what the problem is, or I honestly don't know how to respond to that. But thank you very much indeed for your comment. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second, and just to let you know, I'm going to tell you more about the accident in the chat afterwards if you wish. But I share that video really as a reminder to remain vigilant. When I was struck by that brick, I was about 10 meters outside an already large exclusion zone that had been put in place. And the title of that video, which I recorded literally the day after the incident, is called Accidents Can Happen to Anyone. And I stand by that title and that sentiment to this very day.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show, but boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, and ideally something to say as well, I'll see you on the other side of this.